Battletech is a kind of a quote-unquote hard science fiction universe. It's set in the game is set in the year 3025, on the back of where you had about let's see, 1,000 years, mankind has been in the stars, spread out to about 2,000 planets of what's called the inner sphere, and it organized at one point into what was called the Star League, and actually had a classic golden period where terraforming took place on all these planets, and there was peace and prosperity for the most part. And then that falls prey to humans, greed, and kind of consumes itself in the 5 kind of major what are called houses, the kind of family feudal societies that were within the Star League. Then all start to kind of beat on each other for the honor of being the head of the new Star League. We are now kind of at the 3rd of those succession wars, which is where our game is set. The weapon of choice, the weapon that has evolved over those 1,000 years, is called the Battletech. It is a mechanized walking tank, for all lack of a better word, that is anywhere from 7 to 15 meters tall. Carries an enormous amount of weapon firepower, and was evolved to be able to work on the enormous diversity of planets that the inner sphere comprises of. And so your role in this at this point is as a mercenary. You're building a small mercenary company inside of this extremely chaotic feudal environment, working for the different houses, and trying to keep your head above water financially, and your head attached to your shoulders physically, because it's a dangerous place, as you can imagine. Back to history for one quick second. I mean, the reason I wanted it to be a feudal society because I wanted to see the mechs, which are effectively giant suits of armor, right, passed down from generation to generation, right? Like armor and a great sword was during the Middle Ages. They represented enormous wealth and enormous responsibility, to the owners. So you have to step back and go, well, why do feudal societies evolve, right? And if you kind of look at the history, feudal society and speed of communications are directly connected. If you can immediately communicate with people at distance, then you can kind of continue to command them. But if it takes you weeks and months for your commands to reach a distant location, now you have to put someone there who you trust, right? And historically, we've always trusted DNA more than anything else. So I put my DNA there. I put a relative there, right? Because the premise is they're more reliable and they're more trustworthy than someone who isn't. And that's how a feudal society develops. And so for us to have a feudal society make sense in the science fiction setting, we needed to make sure that communications, interstellar communication, was really slow, right? So that you would then be inspired to place family members and develop back into that feudal environment. Turns out space is a really big place, so it's not hard to make communication slow, but that was just a little touchstone in terms of how the world was built.